This the first All-English semi-final since the year of the last All-English final, 2007. Wasps played Leicester in the final that season. Of course, that exact same cup final clash could happen again. Wasps versus the Tigers, but Saracens and indeed Racing 92 tomorrow will surely have plenty to say about that. Saracens get us underway. They lead the English Premiership. Wasps are nestling in behind in that competition. The regenerator Wasps challenging again on all fronts. Here's Robson. Their highly rated scrum half who's really been catching the eye this season. There he is again. Gopeth, the man who saw them home in the quarter-final, finds Halai. Halai versus Ashton today on this flank. So many juicy confrontations. Back from Haskell, the leader. Gopeth again. Cagey start. Wasps though looking to break out with Christian Wade. Inside he goes. What a start this could be. Robson. It is breathtaking. Full of bravado. Full of belief.
Unbelievable stuff from Wasps there. Immediately Jimmy Gopeth was put in full width on the pitch. They know Saracens defend so aggressively infield. Gopeth right to left went wide. It stretched Saracens. They then went left to right, and Wade's pace, an immediate threat to Saracens, and a threat that could not be quelled. Robson's support lines absolutely brilliant again. The offload out of the tackle good. Wade too quick, beats two men, and Robson supporting brilliant. A lovely step to leave his man and sprint into the corner. The underdogs have the perfect start. Wade, so often the scorer, a brilliant provider. And Robson, ball under the right hand, is not going to be taken out by his opposite man there. Richard Wigglesworth, the dream start for Wasps.
It was the dream finish to the quarter-final. Here the dream start. Can Gopeth do it again? Oh, he certainly can. What a start.
Well, in the quarter-final, Northampton was slow out of their blocks against Northampton, and I was talking to Charlie Hodgson an hour before kick-off, and we said if you're as slow against Wasps as you were against Northampton, it's going to be 14 points. Well, there's 7 of them already. A quite brilliant start by Wasps. Saracens a little bit narrow, but exploited by a Wasps team in a way that no other team in England would have exploited them.
Taken by Bradley Davis, who's come into the side to start. Of course, he brings a lot of experience. Over 50 caps now for Wales. Gopeth again. This time a little bit more conservative.
Well, in field, everything started beautifully for Wasps. The line-out is an area, though, where they will be worried. Saracens will think it's an area of real supremacy. Itoje and George Cruz have become the two foremost line-out operators in this tournament. Launchbury, is he fit? Brad Davis, he's a brilliant operator in the loose. He's not a great line-out forward. Saracens will look to exploit an opportunity here.
Good from Brits, accurate. Billy Vunipola against Nathan Hughes, the man who's soon to qualify for England. And there, two Englishmen, Mako Vunipola and Bradley Davis still sorting out Scott Brits, and also Owen Farrell just couldn't keep it going for the Saracens.
A little bit nervous here from Owen Farrell. Never getting that pass away, and he tries to force it quite clearly forward to Scott Brits, playing very wide. So line out's an area where Saracens are strong, but scrum is a worry for them. They were terrible against Harlequins last week, and if you look at this, you can see Wasps, an outstanding scrum, lowest scrum success against Wasps. You can see the toughest team to scrum against. Saracens, middling force in this tournament, but scrum is an area where Mullin in particular, with his two Italians, has had some real joy.
It's Mullin versus Petrus Duplessis. Vunipola takes on Cittadini. Goes into the side for Cooper Woolley. He's got a calf strain. It'll be reset.
So you see how difficult it is to compete against Wasps in the scrum and the line-out. Similar story, but it's Saracens who are the dominant force here, and there you can see hardest line-out team to play against. Saracens, Wasp, middling force in Europe. So the line-out, you would be expecting Saracens to be trying to get a big edge. The scrum, the Wasp. First scrum was very solid though. We say Romain Poit as well, French referee. He loves to referee a scrum. Do not think you'll get away with kidding Poit. Calls it really well.
And he makes the call there as free kick to Wasps, and as is their way, they do not hang around. That's the halfway line. Robson, the try scorer. Gopeth, good inside ball, finds Launchbury. Keep mentioning battles, but Launchbury versus Itoje and Cruz. How about that one? Talking of Itoje, it's all over Wade there. Robson again. The famed Saracens defence. Line up and wait. Launchbury has another go. Robson. Gopeth, nice step. Got away from the first man, who was Brits. Well picked up by Robson, but there had been a knock-on. And while they set for another scrum, we go to the gain line, and it's Scott Cornell. Scotty.
One way to get outside the Saracens defence, and it's strong runners. Look at George Smith, there he is. The guy's going to come on a dummy run. Going to get in behind him, pull that Saracens defence in. Great try.
Wade keeps his whip so well, and in the end, you know, that ability to just blister off the mark that he has, that was the difference. Wade's pace over 10 metres got him beyond the covering Saracens. So often Wiles is such a wily defender, and he gets his man. You can't give Wade a metre. He will take it and he'll be gone.
6 at 6 ways last week. What a way to go into a semi-final. The fastest player to 50 tries in the English Premiership, and he knows all about speed in every sense.
I ask two things in a changing room. Waiting for the stability before to move on, and just get the deal with your opponent about the space. Okay?
I need to get this here.
I think it has to be said, Saracens scrum so strong in the earlier part of the year. Brits is a quite brilliant rugby player, but they have lost heavily with Jamie George's injury. A much better scrummager than that man. Also Figallo out. Saracens are not scrumming this half of the season as they were the first half.
George making a good comeback. He's going to be ahead of schedule, but not ready for this semi-final. But Brits and Co were ready for that scrum. Both going down.
One man who probably scrummages more than any other player in European rugby is Billy Vunipola. When you watch him scrummage for Saracens, watch his arm position. He gets really tight. So many number 8s are very wide in their position, and they're just waiting to do whatever happens when the ball comes through. Look at his shoulders, the ball's in tight. He is driving with that 20-plus stone of his there, really pushing everything through. Now that first attacking line-out, first line-out in the Wasp 22.
And Brits throws it to the tail, finds Itoje. Here comes Billy Vunipola. He's on a mission there. Former Wasp man, of course, but very much part of Saracens now, and what they're trying to do. Go all the way in the Champions Cup. Mako Vunipola wiggles with weights.
Use it!
Gives it to Duplessis. drive after drive here from the English champions. Backwards is the call. Wasps wanted a knock on, maybe desperately so. Rhodes in there. Agonisingly close for the Saracens fans behind those posts. Wigglesworth to Barrett. Wade nearly got in there, it's pinging around. Could have been Wade away. Here comes George Smith, does a good job. Unflustered as you'd expect, good scrum half, and Elliot Daly with that big left boot. But fielded by Chris Ashton, who's got Good going with him. Ashton to Good. Wiles waits. Now Wiles has got space. The American international, who never let Saracens down. 5 more tries in this season's tournament for him. Advantage being played.
Very cynical slowing from Wasps at that last breakdown.
Real squeeze of pressure here from the Saracens. Farrell. And that's going to land to nobody initially. Slow the move right down. Referee Platt says penalty.
Big warning there for Wasps. The kick looks really good off Elliot Daly's left foot from a tight corner. But against Saracens, we talk about Wasps on the counter, but Good and Ashton are brilliant counter-attackers. And I think both these teams are teams you need to treat with respect when it comes to that aspect of the game. Get the ball in the stand. Ashton and Good will bring it back all day long and they will punish you.
Hello, what about this decision as we watch Ashton on the counter-attack? Saracens have turned down the kick for goal.
Utterly expected, I would say, Miles. They've been stung, Saracens, and they're coming back with their big weapon. The line-out where they fancy their chances against Wasps, where they have already driven very well. They're 5 metres out. They want an immediate blast.
They are the arch accumulators, but they are looking for more than just 3 points here.
Dent Wasps' confidence a bit as well, I think, after that amazing start by the Wasps.
Saracens looking for a try, looking for a statement, and Brits is there. Another advantage. Brady Davis, offside position there. Farrell to Good. Wrapped up by Siali Piatau. And some of the Wasps fans will get a little bit excited, those who don't know that advantage was being played.
A couple of free plays that will disappoint Saracens. You know, they haven't been under pressure because they've known they've had penalties and they haven't been able to produce the decent passes without the pressure on. Now there's almost no doubt. That is a strange call, to go for points now when they're just as close as they were last time, when the line-out was driving. Fully expecting Owen Farrell to be pushing that ball into the corner.
It's fast now anyway.
Mark McCall and his coaching team.
I wonder if from Mark McCall and that management team a call went down saying take the points. It's 13 minutes into the game, you don't need to make grand statements. What you need to do is get some points.
Especially with this man in your side, Owen Farrell, leading point scorer in the tournament to this point. And in the quarter-final, he was 7 from 7.
This would calm Saracens. They have been frenetic in the first 12 minutes when they've had their possession and they've had the territory. Points needed here.
We don't often say this, but Saracens do need 3. And they won't get 3. Farrell didn't miss one in the quarter-final, but he's missed one in the semi-final. Will. There was a better angle. didn't lead to the 3. And Gopeth calls for the mark.
10.
Farrell's goal kicking has been just so extraordinarily good throughout this competition and under pressure as well.
Here's Alex Good.
Lock away.
He's right on top of his game. And nearly right on top of that as well. Got a hand on it. And the ball did go forward. See Mark McCall. There's Dai Young, man in charge of Wasps, and what a turnaround he has overseen at the club.
The Wasps, of course, are a team who can chase down leads. We saw that in the quarter-final against Exeter. Saracens, they're the team that would like to get their noses in front and just grind Wasps out. Very good up and under from Alex Good there. First thing that's really gone well for him.
Saracens through their pool unbeaten. No side has ever gone on to win the tournament with a 100% pool record. So going to strike again. Wasps think so. And there's Gopeth showing his muscle, like he did when he celebrated the winning kick against Exeter. But that's good turnover ball for Saracens, and it's gone wide very quickly. 2 Brits, he offloads, finds Wiles, who steps over the bodies and finds Mako Vunipola, who's the reason why it went wide quickly. Barrett to Farrell. Now it's a look at Duncan Taylor, the Scotland international, and such a good Six Nations. So too that man, of course, George Cruz. Wigglesworth to Farrell, Duplessis. It is all Saracens territory here after that fast start from Wasps. Itoje, Wigglesworth, Farrell takes them on, and so too Billy Vunipola right on that gain line. Wigglesworth again to Farrell, little chip. Halai has to be right on it here. It's bouncing and it's put down by Taylor. Saracens think they've got it.
Pour moi, je pense que c'est bon, on vérifiera.
Et après, je sais pas s'il a aplati ou s'il pousse après aplatir.
D'accord.
It's a big knock on that ass, là. Big knock.
Jerome Garces stepping in with Roman Poit.
2 things to check. First of all, if the player is on side, to run forward and to do the grounding. And second one, if there is an obstruction without the ball in goal on white players.
Okay, checking onside first and obstruction then.
Please.
It's a brilliant kick here. Saracens have targeted Frank Halai. They think he's slow on the turn. There is no offside there. Ashton is the man who's going to be involved. Halai now comes into the shot. Is it shoulder to shoulder? Halai leans in as much as Ashton. That's a try. That is a try.
Saracens fans have decided. Eric Gozan is the television match official.
Halai knocks it backwards. There's no knock on from Chris Ashton. Ashton's pressure. Saracens try.
Tu demanderas celui qui est aussi à notre droite là, depuis l'embut.
Répète, Romain.
Shoulder to shoulder, and the Wasps fans booing. They think Ashton put the shoulder in more than Halai did.
It's a physical game. Duncan Taylor, the beneficiary.
On regarde le 14, est-ce qu'il change son...
Est-ce qu'il change sa course, ouais.
Look at the number 14, says Eric Gozan.
I think you've got every entitlement to commit yourself there. Shoulder to shoulder, he's just knocked him off the ball.
Ça vous dit quoi?
It's a superb kick, isn't it? Real time there, you give that.
Romain, decision?
Yeah, I have a decision as well. There is a clear contact without the ball. Players is not running forward, he's moving to white players and hit the players without the ball. Are you happy with that?
I'm happy with this.
Okay, no try.
The more
and
and
penalty
more
against
that
Black.
was shown,
Okay.
you just sensed
White,
that it was
captain.
going against Ashton.
It's a tough call for Mark McCall
6-1.
and his management to take.
There is a clear contact without the ball. The players is moving to the.
He's going for the ball.
He's looking, please. Yeah, he's looking for the try, but he's hitting the players without the ball and moving to the white players. I cancel the try, and it's a penalty against your players on 5 meters.
Well, it's too late now for Brad Barrett, but he's trying to build the case that his man was going for the ball.
You just watch that in real time, and you think that Halley is between Ashton and the ball, and there's no arms. It's shoulder to shoulder. I can sort of understand it. I mean, Saracens, they've just got to live with it and get on with it. These things happen. It was brilliantly worked by Saracens. Farrell, a beautiful dainty kick there. Boom. That angle again. I'm giving it, but you know, these things are 50-50 calls, aren't they?
There will be a very relieved Frank Halley.
It won't be the last time, I think, that Wasps will try and turn Halley and Christian Ward. They'll look to get behind the wings.
As Hughes qualifies for England after the summer series against Australia. Nearly 20 stones of him. Copperth finds good.
Black. On Black.
And that is out on the full. Scott.
Yeah, they're trying to get Billy Vunipola into the game. Carlo Festucia, he's at the back, he's the hooker, he's defending at 7. We've got George Smith, he's defending at 2. And they're going to exploit this. It's a good lineup, it's a good throw. And have a look, he just goes in, he gets involved. That's what front rows do. He doesn't take the space up, and that allows Billy Vunipola to get those yards.
It was immaculate last week against Harlequins at Wembley. Alex Good just a little bit nervous there. That was quite an error there, putting that one out on the full. Gives Wasps a very rare field position.
Toje in, spoiling up the line out, as he and Cruz have done so well. Taylor, the man denied. Charles Piatal. Copperth, Launchbury again used in that battering ram roll. Copperth got it away from Cruz. The pressure on Good considering the last kick, but
he had the consolation of being in his own 22 though, didn't he? So he didn't have to just get his timing right. Beautiful, lovely strike. Itoje, so fast, gets ahead of Bradley Davis there. You don't need to lift him, at best a one-handed lift. Again, we see it time after time. He gets above his man, but more importantly, he gets in front of his man.
George Smith. Won't come as a great surprise to know that he's made most tackles in the competition going into the semi-final. George Smith, what a signing he's been for Wasps. Now this is Ashton's turn to chase back. It's all about the break on the bounce, and it's a kind one for the Saracens winger. Again, Good has the insurance policy of being inside the 22, and he's got that back kick right out of the system.
Well, the last 2 kicks that Alex Good has come up with in his own 22, one was about 40 metres, one's a full 55. He's back in the game.
Let's go to Graham Simmons.
Alex, this is looking like going to be a test of your patience this afternoon.
Test of patience, test of character. Nightmare start, 7 points down, but we're happy with where we played the game since then. And we're able to get some set-piece pressure on Wasps, so hopefully we'll just stay down here in this next period and hopefully get some points from it.
The officials get that call right on the try, Alex, in your view?
Well, not in my view, obviously. I'd much prefer it to be 7-all. But, you know, it's fine margins, and I can understand why it went against us.
In terms of penalty kicks earlier on, you had one where you didn't have the shot at goal and one where you did. Who's calling that? Is that coming from the stands or on the pitch?
It's on the field, it's all on the field. It's always up to them. Brad will make the call, they'll speak to Owen, they'll speak to George regarding how we're going in the mauls and whether or not it's an Owen's range.
Alex, thanks a lot.
Thank you.
5 back, side entry at maul.
It's going to be a penalty for Saracens against Bradley Davis, and how terrifically fair from Alex Anderson in the heat of the contest to understand why
Not over.
it might have gone
Side entry.
against
5 back.
his team. It was George Cruz, in fact, that's been penalised.
Well, all the kudos that have gone this season to Mario Itoje, but this guy George Cruz has been a rock for club and for country. Not just a line-out forward, very powerful, real leader in this team now. A team of leaders, and they might well need it, because Wasps look as if they're very dangerous given a sniff today. 6-man line, big split in the middle.
Vestuccia throws, good from the Italian. Robson. Siali Piatel.
Sit up, release now!
Vestuccia again. The Saracens do get their penalty.
Side entry, cleaning out.
I was quite surprised, you know, that Owen Farrell is taking the kick out of hand here, because Alex Good striking it so well. There's nothing wrong with that kick, but Good has hit the last two such a distance. Was very fast to get to that gain line there. Cruz is quick in there, he's making a nuisance of himself. Bradley Davis off his feet, but if that goes down, it's a penalty against Wasps, but Cruz gets in so fast. In many ways, that's a penalty for the excellent defence.
It was Bradley Davis. What a great line out. Just for Wasps. Piatel again shows his strength there.
Bounced off Farrell, didn't he?
Robson. Launched against Michael Rhodes, who's come into the side. South African. Jackson Ray back to the bench for Saracens. Robson again. Chased by Halai, but he's got a long way to go. It's Good. And Ashton, they combine so well. Wigglesworth also involved. Good, nice feet again. That's twice he stepped. Nearly make it 3. Wasps do get their man. Comes Billy Vunipola. That wasn't going to be a step, it was going to be power, and Farrell finds Wigglesworth.
A sniff of Saracens at their offloading best.
In comes Fraser, and then it's going wide now from Owen Farrell. Here's Taylor. Wiles. Brits. Fraser can't take it, and that is a knock-on.
A little bit of basketball with muscle there until the knock-on from Will Fraser. But this is what Saracens do very well. They run very directly, they commit 2 defenders, and the support line for Farrell is brilliant. He offloads as well, playing it very direct. Big, muscular men, they batter their way over the gain line. That is a cracking line from Farrell, but that is Billy Vunipola at his best. Brits popping up everywhere. He's just missed a line out, but he's such a skillful operator. Crowd shouting here, they want a high tackle, they want a penalty. And here's Brits, little step.
Referee wants to see it, I think.
Well, Taylor's going low, but that's irrelevant, and that's an arm that's swinging there from Charles Piatel. And if you look at Piatel now, he's looking at the ref straight away.
Non, c'est bon. Il se baisse.
Peters is going down first.
If you go into the law book, it doesn't matter if you're going down first. It's utterly irrelevant. That is not part of the law book. That's a penalty. That is a penalty. Romain Poit has just come up with a something that is not part of the rugby law book.
He looked a guilty man, you're absolutely right.
Keep working on the scrum.
Man of the match in the quarter-final.
Actually, I reckon I reckon Alex Sanderson is probably more annoyed with that penalty than the 50-50 call for the try.
And with Farrell in the side, could make all the difference, although of course he's missed one today. He doesn't normally miss that type of kick, and he didn't miss there. On the charge down from Gopperth's attempt to try and get the ball through. It was just too tight. Wasps need to reset. Robson. It's good from Barrett and Taylor, the two centres.
Doing nothing, number 8, fine. Just diving. You stay, number 4, you stay 4. Thank you.
Robson hoists another. And the protection for Ashton was good.
Wigglesworth got in the way, didn't he? He made sure that no chase could go through.
Mako Vunipola bouncing off the first challenge. Had so much ball. Geography has been in their favour, but as yet, not the scoreboard. Itoje. Farrell. Will Fraser. Farrell again. Billy Vunipola taking man and ball with him as always. Farrell. Wigglesworth gets away from Cittadini. Tackle comes in from Piatau. Sali Piatau. Nice roll round, but needs to go to hand.
Off your feet, one.
Mako Vunipola retrieves, and Sculpt Brits comes in. Rhodes, nice hands. Taylor, on it goes to Fraser. Inside is Barrett. It's a cluster of players. Rhodes one of them, and the referee is going to call a hold.
Billy Vunipola is still on his haunches. Just starting to find a bit of rhythm late into this game. It's a real contrast. Saracens look so dangerous when they're just playing little offloads. Wasps looking to go wider. Interesting play from Richard Wigglesworth here. Just watch the way he takes his time getting back here to stop the chase coming, and it makes the catch so easy. Just falls out of the way. There's no way Halai could get near him. He can't compete. Wigglesworth knows exactly what he's doing there. That, to me, is more of a cynical block than Chris Ashton's push. It's a good ball from Duncan Taylor.
And don't forget, live on Sky Sports, we have the Challenge Cup Semi-final. Following this, Montpellier against the Dragons. It is some task for the Dragons, but they will relish it, no doubt about that. Sky Sports 1 here, 5:25 for that one. Who will play Harlequins in the final in Lyon in that competition? This is the first semi-final of the Champions Cup. Leicester meeting Racing 92 in Nottingham tomorrow.
Just the one score so far, but what a score it was. Too much pace for Rhodes, and the step inside Wigglesworth, and that's beautiful play. Scrum half on scrum half. Wigglesworth just fades in field, and Robson off his left foot finishes that quite beautifully.
Scored 2 tries in the league meeting between these two in February, when Wasps could not stop scoring.
And only you can see the response from Saracens in terms of commitment and will. It has been immense, 81%. But in terms of precision, they've been lacking. One penalty chance missed, and a couple of passes haven't gone to hands. Wasps defending brilliantly. There'll be some more defending to do before this game's over.
Quite a delay here. A number of players have received treatment. Taylor is the last one to get to his feet.
He's a very important man for Saracens as well. You saw that with the first try. If Wasps get outside that 15-metre area with Piotau and Wade and Halai, they are deadly. And Taylor at 13 has a very important role, cutting them off, stopping them getting wide. I think if Saracens can keep the game narrow between the 15s, they muscle their way back into it. The wider it goes, the more threat of Wasps striking again.
Nathan Hughes blasting off the base of that scrum. Gopperth deep, but charged down by Rhodes. Stay calm here, and he will score. Saracens have it at last. Denied before, but not this time.
The hero of the quarter-final turns villain here in the semi-final. Michael Rhodes does ever so well. The Cape Townian gets the charge down. But Jimmy Gopperth wanted far too long there, and Rhodes just devoured the time, charged it down, and just his body weight was enough to take him over there. Gopperth takes what will seem to Rhodes an eternity, and in that time the South African devours the ball, a brilliant charge down, and he keeps his calm. In a half where Saracens haven't always done that, he does ever so well there. That's a good, calm finish.
Yes, he gathered himself and made absolutely sure. Gopperth clears there, and Saracens might have been wondering when they were going to score, but they do have the try now, if not the conversion, as Farrell misses again. Well,
Michael Rhodes so calm, so calm. That's a great charge down. This is a very, very difficult skill. It's an oval ball spinning on its side, and he just lowers his body angles, lowers his height, doesn't bend at the back, bends at the knees, goes at it with soft hands. That's a class pick-up and score.
Yes, it was as if he went through the textbook in his mind how to do that in the heat of the moment. Which says an awful lot for his big game state of mind. We'll still have the lead, but now a slender one. And Ashton sees a way through, as he so often does. Vunipola. Wigglesworth nicely off the floor to Brits. In goes the scrum half again. Farrell, Vunipola on the inside line and seeing the space. Launcesbury gets back at him, but that's a big carry from Vunipola, and then Owen Farrell makes another mistake.
Well, it is not going the way of Owen Farrell. Both kicks he normally gets in his sleep. He's a pressure kicker, and he'll be very disappointed. What Saracens will be pleased at is the way they're just starting to get their rhythm. Inside balls to Vunipola, where he's so good, where Billy, his brother, is so good. That's where Saracens will think they can hurt Wasps. 10 metres either side of the breakdown, they're at their most powerful, and they're just coming back into this game.
What a stranglehold it has been ever since that early Wasp score. Fleetingly outside their own half, the Wasps. He's going back inside their patch again. Gopperth, a few things racing through his mind at the moment, needs to put them to the back. Good. Robson is positioning himself.
He's become a very calm, accomplished player, hasn't he, Dan Robson? Took his try brilliantly. That's the other side of a scrum half, tracking back, A1 position, the ball seemed to just swirl away, but he took an extra step, got there, and fired a very nice touch finder.
And what about his pass to Halai last week against Worcester? I mean, that is one of the best of the season, if not the best.
Technically, he's very good. He's a very intelligent player as well. I thought Gloucester underused him when he was there. I think he's a great signing. With Joe Simpson on the bench, boy, Wasps have got a scrum half to go 80 minutes today.
If you haven't seen it, make sure you do. It was threading through the needle. It really was. But for the large part, he's on the back foot here. Halai from Wigglesworth's kick.
Well, it's what Saracens wanted. A lot of set-piece possession, a lot of kicking, a lot of press. Just haven't been quite as precise, but at the moment it's swinging back their way.
Well, for a moment I thought that was going to be fun. Billy Vunipola catching that one and setting off in all that space. But it wasn't. But this is Scott Quinnell.
Michael Rhodes does really well here. The fact that Nathan Hughes gets a good run, gets over the gain line. Normally a back rower would go to the contact area. He doesn't, because they've gone so far. He goes round to defend, and because he's on the front foot, it's much easier to get to that charge down. Superb play.
Cheeky little line out there to Rhodes.
Haskell's all over him though, isn't he? 6 on 6.
Wasps will be desperate to show their attacking game again before half-time. George Smith.
The other thing that hasn't happened so far for Wasps, the influence of George Smith that has been overwhelming at times this season, hasn't been there. I think that's because Saracens have had most of the ball, and Saracens have been going forward, and George Smith is trying to operate going backwards, and you know, even the best open sides find it very hard if they can't get any front foot, and that is a superb penalty kick. Brits just goes forward first of all, and it's Billy Vunipola just knocks George Smith backwards. Then he's on his knees, and that just, instead of winning the penalty, concedes the penalty. Billy Vunipola's weight is crucial there.
Well, if he hadn't been penalised, then that Mullen would have been as well. There's no attempt by Mullen to roll away either.
Sorry, I didn't see it.
And the Wasps nominees for European Player of the Year. The Saracens have 4. That's what you get when you're a semi-final side. But they will mean very little, those accolades to the players, at the side of the trophy itself.
Absolutely nothing it'll mean. Do you remember that time in Paris when Munster had been knocked out in a semi, and Ronan O'Gara had been voted the European Player of the Decade, and Ronan O'Gara's face that evening in Paris, because his team Munster weren't there. You didn't want to say congratulations Ronan, you kept out of his way. That's what it means, and that's what makes these competitive players the best.
Time back on. 6.
5th semi-final for Saracens. They've been working towards the title. The final itself, of course, a couple of years ago when they ran into Toulon. No shame losing that day. But they feel they are ready now. They've looked ready this season. Many people believe they are the team, but that's not quite sharing that belief today. Barrett, Wigglesworth had time to find it. There's Cruz, and there's the turnover for Wasps. Wasn't Smith that time. He's the half-back. Gopperth doesn't want another one being charged down. Piatau is the man.
So important for your inside centre to be able to hit the breakdown like a flanker, and Siale Piatau does brilliantly there. Great angle of that. Rhodes comes in, but it's too late. Pilatau's got there first. Gopper's kick doesn't go far, but it's better to go 15 metres than go 30 metres and let Good and Ashton go very quickly.
The older brother of the two. George Cruz back on his feet.
Good. Line out black.
And Cruz is the man
Turn
with
back on, Rory.
most takes in the competition. Where's it going? To Toje this time. Vunipola to Wigglesworth. That was flat, maybe a tad forward, but the referee was in good position. Rhodes. Billy Vunipola being driven on. And Wasps then realising others had to step in. Halai came forward.
Number 8 is going himself down. Number 8 is going...
It's going to be Wasp ball.
Number 8 is going himself down.
Saracens get the drive, but Wasps keep him up. And that's a great turnover. They devoured the gain line from that line out from Atoje. Ball was won at 2, but using Vunipola, they got over there so quickly, very cleverly the way they did that. 2 passes and Barrett's 5 yards over it.
Please, White.
Playing a lot of one-out rugby. Vunipola central to everything. Brilliant stuff there. Nathan Hughes heavily involved. Matt Mullen doing a really good job to stop any of his teammates from Saracens getting to him.
And Halai's timing and sense to get there to help out.
And it helps when you're as big a winger as Frank Halai.
Set.
You know, he's big enough to do a second row or back row forward. He's a strong man.
Nice protective shield provided by Nathan Hughes to Dan Robson, but still they can't get it fully away.
You know, from about 2 minutes on, you know, we've been pretty close to siege conditions here in this semi-final. You say Saracens haven't been at their best, but they have just dominated territory all game. You know, their line out has been good, but Wasps have done okay there, but they've just got the ball and they have just kept Wasps in their own 22, and Wasps have done really well with the help of Farrell to stay ahead.
Rhodes at 6'6" offers another line-out option when he's in the side, a very useful one. Billy Vunipola breaks away. George Smith with the tackle. Here comes Owen Farrell. It's not been his half, but he'll put it past the man from finishing it in style. Atoje. Oh, that's lost by the England man, but the reason Wasps have come through offside, and Saracens and Farrell have a simple chance to take the lead right on half-time.
Kicking the ball out.
The perfect medicine for Owen Farrell, isn't it? Bang in front of the post. He's missed 2 kicks, both of them ones he kicks with his eyes shut. Just coming up to half-time, he's given an absolute sitter, thank you.
You know what, Owen Farrell will probably think the perfect medicine was right out on the touchline because he'd like to prove the point. I know what you're saying in the context of the game.
I don't know, I think in the context of this one, Mars, I think he'd probably settle for one right in front. Under normal circumstances.
Just to illustrate the temperament of the man, I mean, he really is made of steel, physically and mentally.
Well, you can't argue. Wasps started brilliantly, scored a wonderful breakaway try, but sheer weight of possession and territory means that Saracens fully deserve to go into half-time with the lead in this European Champions Cup semi-final, and they have it.
There's the lead, supplied by the boot of Owen Farrell. He's missed a couple, but he's on the board now, as was Dan Robson right at the start of the match. A scintillating start, Wasps racing into a 7-0 lead. Gopperth with that conversion, but then Gopperth was charged down and Rhodes scored for Saracens. And that's why we have 8-7 as the half-time score in this first Champions Cup semi-final.
Alex, thank you. Brad, a one-point pummelling in the first half. Have harsh words been said in the Wasps dressing room?
No, not at all. You know, I think Saracens have put the squeeze on us a little bit in that first 40, and I think the possession and territory stats are massively against us. But to turn the corner at 8-7 down, you know, it means there's all to play for in this second 40 minutes. So everything's really positive. We want to try and put a bit more tempo onto the game, put some speed onto the game, and maybe spend a bit more time in the opposition half than we did in that half.
And who do you think would have expended more energy in that first half? Saracens struggling and fighting to get back into it, or your guys defending for all they're worth to keep them out?
Well, you can take positive out of most situations, but I think that foundation of that first 40 minutes, the way we defended our try line in the early stages and the way we defended in that second 40 could hold us in great stead for this second 40 coming up.
I hope your voice holds up. Well done, Brad. Thanks for talking to us.
Thank you.
So teams out for the second half, and it's no doubt that Wasps have got to try somehow and change the momentum of this game, and providing plenty of that for Saracens is Billy Vunipola. The likes of Nathan Hughes, so important to try and turn this around. Well, he started the game in blistering fashion. Just a stat to throw at you at the start of this second half. 20 minutes after half-time in Europe this season, in this period, Saracens have scored 11 tries. Wasps have conceded just 1. Something's going to have to give.
All the stats suggest that Saracens are on top, but in terms of precision and in terms of accuracy, we know that Wasps, with just one piece of good ball from anywhere, can go. Mark McCall knows his team have control of territory and possession for most of this game, but they haven't been as accurate as they would like. So this game, although it seems to be swinging the way of Saracens, remains very much in the balance.
Well, the boss looks relaxed. George Smith. And Saracens get the first penalty in the first minute of this second half.
Now this simply has to go over. Mako Vunipola receiving the plaudits from his mate. Owen Farrell, 45 metres, bang in front. Brits comes up to him, a little pat on the hand. Could you do this for Mako, please? Saracens were really pumped up. Their reaction to the penalty. Farrell, first of all, now the loose head goes in. Great technique. You are not going to move the Tongan-born Mako Vunipola there.
Well, George Smith himself would have been proud of that piece of play.
You see the way Saracens, when they got the penalty, so pumped.
Nobody likes playing catch-up against Saracens. It seems the law of Farrell's goal kicking has been re-established. Increase the pressure, increase the expectation, and that man will increase his level of performance.
Had to come good at some stage. Had to come good at some stage.
Wasps got the start of the first half. Saracens get it in the second. Farrell again.
That's a very good kick too.
Ashton was getting in a good position, but so too was Gopperth. there's one team that can play catch-up, it's Wasps. They proved that in the quarter-final. Famous.
Good as Exeter are defensively, they're not Saracens.
That's the challenge. Elliot Daly. He's not alone, but hardly seen him as an attacking weapon in this match on the Wasps side. George Smith caught again. And then Robson, little dink in behind Wigglesworth. Good. That's Gopperth's. Charlie Piatel.
Starting to play a lot of rugby in places where Saracens are thinking, keep trying there, keep trying.
Keep those penalties coming.
And see the Saracens squeeze coming up defensively at the moment.
That's what they're looking for. Those indiscretions. They've had one from Smith already in this half. Nothing wrong with that though from the famous Wallaby. Bradley Davis, Robson, Gopperth, Daly. There's Charles Piatel. Such a threat, potentially from fullback. Still really yet to see it. There's another one of those squeezed penalties.
Well, right now, Wasps have to be careful. They're only 4 points behind, but they're playing a lot of rugby in the wrong parts of the field, and the Saracens' defence has definitely gone up a notch. First half, they were a little bit slower, a little bit passive. Now they're coming up hard. They sent blood, and Farrell now is trying to turn the lead into a 7-pointer. Toje heavily involved, no room to go. You can see also Will Fraser doing a brilliant job, as you'd expect from an open side. Toje, well, he's a 4, he's a 5, he's a 6, he's a 7, he might even be an 8.
Fraser with those injury problems behind him. Toje, well, he is everything. He really is. There was a long discussion, reasonably long, between Brad Barrett, captain, and Owen Farrell about this, and they concluded too good a possible chance to waste here. Can he get the distance on the angle? It's not wasted. Farrell is right back. And so are Saracens. Andy.
Yeah, just talking to some of the Wasps boys that are warming up. Wasps need to get back to the way they're playing, the way they've played so well during the last 3 months of the season, and that's playing attacking rugby from everywhere. Obviously conceded a couple of penalties there by trying to do that, but that's the way they're going to win this game, and that's what they spoke about at half-time.
Oh, it's taken by Brits. Wasn't going to go 10 metres, but Brits didn't care. Spent so long in the Wasps half. Wasps 22 in the first half and didn't really get the points to show for it, but now they are starting to gather the points, and Haskell comes in on Farrell and stands over his England colleague. Then tries to make another on another England colleague, Billy Vunipola. It was free for Hughes to play, and Wasps will look to go from here. Bradley Davis knows he must move it quickly. Here goes Gopperth, sees off Barrett. This is Elliot Daly. Wasps will like it if it starts to open up. That will play into their hands. Smith goes over halfway. Referee holds out an arm as well. Here goes Joe Launchbury. Robson. Cittadini. Here comes Nathan Hughes, he's looking for the offload. Toje was getting in the way. That's Mullen's short pass to Haskell. Wasps advancing, but not far enough, and the referee finds the spot for the penalty, but he needs a chat with his assistant as well.
Okay, just to talk to the player. 10. Nothing really dangerous, but height, okay? About your tackle.
Sorry.
Just get discipline about that. Okay, just a penalty.
Sorry.
Merci, Jérôme. High tackle, 10 black.
It's within Elliot Daly's range, but interestingly enough, Wasps have decided to be a little bit more aggressive, and Gopeth heads towards the corner. Owen Farrell, the man talked to, the man penalised. Just swinging right hand a little bit too near the neck and shoulders of Jimmy Gopeth. What's the right hand? Nothing much in it. Nothing much in it.
Shake of the head there from Farrell as well. I don't think he thought there was much in it either. This for Stuccia. Good to Haskell at the tail. Wasps have gone for it. As Stuart said, Elliot Daly in their ranks make that a possible three-point shot. Allied come off his left wing, he's going back there now. The ball came this way. Charlie Piatal. Nathan Hughes, Robson, Smith. Oh, Barrett there. He's been knocked down to the floor by Gopeth in this half. He was not having the same thing happen to him again. Hughes carries that ball like it's so small, a junior ball. Gopeth again. Robson, Duplessis got him, and he's cleared away the Saracens' tight head. No scrum half, so Gopeth plays that role. These are vital times in this game. Wasps know they can ill afford Saracens to build a lead, get the next score. Smith had a little look. Robson, don't seem to be the men there for Wasps. Nathan Hughes is gamely carrying in this attack. Robson trying to find support, but Saracens have them where they want them, at arm's length. Robson, and that looks a really nasty clash, and the medic straight on. Referee called an immediate halt there, and the players showing concern.
But it looks like Robson lost his footing, and of course in the first half Piatal was serious injury. We're not showing that because it could be potentially serious, but he went down, he was caught, looked accidentally. TMO is seen in the truck, but we won't be here.
No, we won't show these pictures. Potentially a serious injury. Robson is in fact sitting up now.
Don't leave too early the field, stay with me.
And Farrell up too, but he needs attention for a cut.
Captain and 10.
It was an attack, a long one, which
this is the second
in
one,
the end was
this
going
one is
nowhere.
Really dangerous.
Well, he's going to be yellow carded by Romain Poit.
I'd love to see that again, because in the first half Piatal got off because it was said that the Saracen was slipping to the floor. Now Robson here is going down, and Farrell, well, his arm is leading, but Robson is dipping. There's no consistency in the refereeing. As it is though, Farrell leads with the shoulder, and you'd say that inconsistent refereeing, but a yellow card remains a fair call there.
Joe Simpson is the replacement scrum half for Wasps. He's come back from his injury problems, suffered an ankle injury in round 6 those weeks ago against Leinster. Required surgery. Returned to action last week as a replacement against Worcester. And the stretcher is being called for here. Scotty.
Yeah, Nathan Hughes just brought a little bit into this game. He's been strong in the second half. You can see him, look how strong he is there. He understands, the referee is saying the ball's out, the ball's out. Really well done by him, really got Wasps on the front foot in the second half.
Well, it's going to be a blow. Dan Robson leaving the field, he's played really well, but Wasps 7 points behind with an extra man are a team who can chase the game. This man spearheads it. Joe Simpson is one of the key men that Wasps have got on the bench who can turn a game. You look at Ashley Johnson, you look at Simpson, Miller, Dai Young's son Thomas Young. They are all guys, exciting talents who can turn a game. In contrast, when you look at the Saracens bench relies far more on experience. Old stagers like Neil de Kock and Charlie Hodgson and Big Jim Hamilton. They're men who can hold a game and can just sit on a lead. Marcelo Bosch defensively so strong. So Saracens have a really experienced bench. Wasps an incredibly exciting bench. Unfortunately, from the Wasps perspective, Joe Simpson has come on earlier than they would have liked because of the nature of the injury.
And the nature of the injury means we are taking our time here to make sure that Dan Robson is receiving the appropriate treatment at this stage of the problem.
James, can we take the shot anyway?
No doubt he slipped, but also the referee deeming that it was dangerous from Owen Farrell, so Wasps will have an extra man. And don't forget, the Challenge Cup semi-final, Montpellier against Dragons, comes up after this on Sky Sports 1 to see who will play Harlequins in the final. And for all the semi-final highlights from both competitions, the Challenge Cup and the Champions Cup, then you can join us tomorrow evening, 7 o'clock, Sky Sports 3, if you've been out and about during the day.
Well, Owen Farrell gives his team what he always gives, which is fierce commitment, an uncompromising attitude, but I hasten to say it is not necessarily what you want from a fly half. What Saracens need is someone to guide them around the park, and he got knocked off the ball once or twice in the first half, and there have been a few swinging arms, there has been ill discipline, and it's really unfortunate that Robson is going. He did slip. I don't think there was any real intent from Farrell, but it was a reckless challenge. It was dangerous, as you say, Miles, and that's why the yellow card is right.
Have a shot, dangerous tackle.
Of course, the penalty now from this side, which makes it a whole lot easier for Jimmy Gopperth.
It also opens the game up to us, doesn't it? They've got 10 minutes now, 15 against 14. I mean, Farrell could cost his team dearly here.
Let's get on with the kick will be the Wasp message, but he has to go through his routine, of course, and make sure of the 3 points, which he does. 14-10 Saracens lead. And a sin-bin period for Wasps to work with here.
It's an interesting one because Saracens are not a team who like to hold the ball deep for long periods of time. They like to kick, they like territory, and they like to put the squeeze on defensively. But against Wasps, of all teams, they can turn a 15-on-14 into a real opportunity. They've got men who can make that extra man really count.
Launchbury, what a catch. Great positioning as well, knew exactly where the touchline was. Billy Bunapola on George Smith. Just knocked him, and then in came Mitoje to try and finish the job. Was dried well. Haskell. That was some tackle by Haskell on Farrell, wasn't it, not so long ago?
I think it wound him up, Miles. You know, Farrell, fly halves can't react like that. They've just got to shrug it off.
Gopperth with Elliot Daly just given the hint of an arc there, and he loves that. Goes for the boot that time. As does Good. Gopperth looking around, wanting Daly to go with him. Doesn't want to get isolated here. Great tackle from Brits. Haskell. Festuccia. Needed help and got it. Simpson, the new scrum half. Launchbury, he's been a relentless carrier today. Off and out of defence. Simpson, has he seen some space? And if he had, so had Alex Good.
Stay back! Stop! 6! Stop!
Gopperth.
Saracens will take that all day long. Just go back now to the James Haskell tackle on Owen Farrell. A minute or so before Farrell lost his cool. Big tackle, but the difference there is Farrell's, the technique is excellent from James Haskell there. Flattens his man. And maybe rattled the fly half of Saracens.
James Haskell, the one man in the team who goes all the way back to the 2007 European Cup final. That meeting with Leicester at Twickenham, he was on the bench that day. Of course, now a Grand Slam winner with England as well. Those are the glory days for Wasps, 2007, 2004, twice winners of this competition. And their rise back to the top from such a poor state a couple of years ago is quite remarkable. To some, the club look almost finished. Scott Brits trying to show that he's not finished.
Resurrected club, Wasps, aren't they? That move to Coventry, it resurrected them.
Brits goes for the simple option at the front. He looked groggy getting to the line out, but he's done something quite brilliant here for the Saracens with a Toje in support. Here's Mako Vunipola. And that was taking us back to the 2007 final. And Ibanez for Wasps and what he did to Leicester.
Brilliantly sharp thinking there from the Saracens pack. Drop goal position for Good if they want 3.
He's gone back there. All this with 14 men, of course.
I think they want more than 3.
And that would be a resounding message to send out. Really would. Knock on from Billy Vunipola. Frustrating.
Now a drop goal looks a brilliant option, doesn't it? Fabulous though from Saracens. Toje, so quick-witted. Brits. This was Ibanez all over again against Leicester in the final, and the left-handed offload is fantastic. George Smith has to make a big tackle.
But maybe next time if it's
Billy Vunipola, eye off the ball for a second, he looks up, and in that second the ball goes forward 1 millimetre, and that's one too many.
Look at the expression of Brad Barrett behind, can hardly believe it. Scott?
Lovely by Toje, but just have a little look at Mako Vunipola. It's the way he looks. He's just going to look. He's going to look up. He's going to distract the Wasps' defence. They've all taken it. Lovely bit of play.
Just went the 5 metres as well. As was the case with Ibanez all those years ago. It was Owen Reddin, wasn't it, running up the touchline?
Yeah. Took one of Leicester's great weapons that day. They'd hammered them a couple of weeks earlier in the league. They were expected to smash their line out. Was turned Leicester's weapon against them, and they turned the game that way.
Saracens' quest for honours in this competition, the more up-to-date story than the Wasps. But they are in a fierce contest here, as they were last season when they fell to Clermont-Auvergne just.
6 not coming. Stay there, stay there.
Toje just fancies clambering through there. Simpson rushed into it, but well done.
No quick throws from Saracens at the moment. They'll take their time. They've got a cracking line out. Can settle this ball. That 4 minutes 26 can wind down to the other side of 4 minutes. Saracens will feel if they can get Owen Farrell back on this field whilst maintaining the lead, they're in a very good position. Andy Good was saying earlier that if Wasps are going to win, they've got to play from deep. There is a flip side to that, and that will be Saracens thinking if Wasps think they can win from playing from deep, that's how they'll lose it. We'll turn the game there.
Over 15, over 15.
Excellent again from Brits to Toje. Different sort of line out.
It's a ball now.
But still right on the money. Wigglesworth needs assistance. Haskell has got it. Now he doesn't want to get penalised for holding on the floor.
Heroic stuff from James Haskell. What leadership from the skipper.
Exactly. Captaincy of the highest order. Charles Piatow, where's this going to bounce? Into the arms of Alex Good. And he's still going, and he's got Taylor outside, who has winger's pace, of course. Simpson has thrown this infield, and Wasps are going for it. Wade is calling for it. Copperth gives him his wish. Christian Wade, he's waited moments this season for this moment. Oh, electrifying again from Christian Wade. Here's Matt Mullen. Simpson, who started all of this. Out it goes to Elliot Daly. There's men outside Bradley Davis. And Saracens trying to get the men across in numbers on that far side. Here's Halley. Adventurous again from the Wasps. It is their way. Wade's still wide and he's waiting. Festuccia can't hold on. That might have hurt him as well.
What a turnover, what a break from Wade.
Still advantage, Locon.
Wiles to Good.
Advantage over.
This could come straight back, the quick one. It does. Now we have real pace on this game. Piatow. Haskell. Just a moment when Bradley Davis went on an extra couple of metres and they were calling for it on the outside. Handed from Wiles, was that deliberate? Wasps and their bench think so. And so now does Romain Poit.
Well, Wiles would just be grateful that the ball doesn't go into the hands of Christian Wade. Wasps haven't had much ball, but when it's been in their right winger's hand, it has been frightening if you're a Saracens fan. Chris Wiles is a really clever, smart defender, but got no right to do what Wade is going to do. First of all, Haskell with the turnover. Simpson's vision and execution and nerve is quite fantastic, but Wade, one-on-one stop. That is an incredible. He checked on his heels, and then he is gone.
7 Saracens trying to get back there to get Christian Wade. Well, his boss, Di Young, is about to talk to Graham.
Di, if I gave you a 20-second huddle with your team right now, what would you say to them?
Just keep playing. I think, we haven't had much possession, especially first half. We need to fire some shots, Graham, and if we can't bust them, we can't bust them. But we need to fire some shots and go through multi-phases. couple of occasions there we had a numbers overlap and we couldn't just get that final pass away. What we need to do is sustain pressure now for the next 5 or 10 minutes and get some points on the board.
Does fortune favour the brave in this instance? I mean, the more you try and string it around, you may play into their hands. Do you have to take that risk now?
Yeah, absolutely. We've got to go to win the game. You know, there's no point us sitting back. They've got too much for us to do that. So we just got to take the game to them going.
God bless. Thank you.
I don't think we ever thought that Dai Young's team, Wasps, would sit back.
I think it's fair to say now the romantics in rugby have started a mass behind the Wasps with 20 minutes to go.
Fine work though at the line out from Saracens.
Very good kick from Wigglesworth. Saracens just need to take a little bit of the pace out of the game. Only 16 seconds till it's 15 against 15. Great turnover work at the line out there from Rhodes, who's had a brilliant game. He's played really well, Michael Rhodes.
It's taken back into the 22, that. Wasps make changes, and one of the players leaving is James Haskell. Thomas Young, son of Dai. The boss comes on. And also Simon McIntyre has come into the front row. For Mullen. Two big players to take off, Mullen and Haskell, leaders in this side.
As we said, Young is just dynamite off the bench.
Peartal, the same, from fullback. Daly does the clear out after the pass before that, which was a beauty. Here's Smith. Simpson to Cittadini. Certainly not lost anything with Simpson on the field, Wasps. There he is again. Touch for Thomas Young. Defining performance in the quarter-final. Ashton nearly got a kick in there to chase Fraser.
What a brilliant poach that was from Ashton, though. He flicked his right hand out, no right to keep it.
Makavunapola. Owen Farrell about to come onto the field again after this sin-bin period concluding. Is that offside? It is.
Yeah.
Players stood and waited, but Saracens knew.
Clumsy. Quite clearly came off a Wasp man. Deliberately offside. Farrell comes off the bench straight to the kick-in tee. Gave 3 points away when he was carded. He could retrieve them now. Ball is just knocked forward there. It's Halai knocks it forward. It's quite clearly off his man, and that's just sloppy there from the hooker. Festucha causes pain to Wasps.
Whilst we look at one kicker off the tee, just want to consider the impact of Richard Wigglesworth over the past 2 or 3 minutes. The box kick in his own 22, which went 40-50 metres at the field, which put pressure on the Wasp line-out, and then that box kick in a 5-metre channel on the money. He is the master craftsman of box kicking number 9s.
He's not bad off the kicking tee either, but this man is one of the world's best. And it's the perfect order after he comes off or out of the sin bin, but it's not the perfect finish to that particular line of this fascinating semi-final story. Not for Owen Farrell.
Oh, that would have been a little bit of breathing space for Saracens against this deadly counter-attacking Wasp team. 7 points takes you at least to extra time now. Wasp could still win this game in 80.
Woods kick, that is way overhead. And he's hurt. And Saracens want the referee to have a look at how that happened.
Tu check Eric, s'il te plaît.
Ouais, parce que moi je suis revenu. Check la charge du 17 blanc.
Time off.
Overclubbed this by a mile, didn't he?
This could have a massive effect on the game.
McIntyre's in the... He's caught him, there's no doubt about that, but...
Does he turn into him? Just keeps going, doesn't he?
I think he makes sure there's a contact there. It's the right leg you want to keep an eye out for now. Boom, catches him, and it's that right leg that catches Good's knee. There. I don't think much has gone the way of Saracens that game. I think that's a penalty. Would be a soft one because it was a horrible kick.
The referee seemed to have more interest in his water bottle than the incident, and he's staying with the line out. Not quite sure what McIntyre could have done. He's a big lad. Tries stopping or turning that. Knock on. Couple, in fact, that Saracens were put into the scrum, and again, Itoje causing issues at the line-out for the opposition.
He's had a big game again. He stands in the middle and he's caused carnage. Joe Launchbury just doesn't quite have the spring. It's Itoje's right hand. It's becoming one of the most familiar body parts in English rugby. That right hand of Itoje rising up in a line-out. Big steal.
Chatting with Mark McCall this week, and he's making the point that Itoje just doesn't lose when he plays for Saracens, but also England under-20s, now of course the full England side. Saracens A when he was leading that team, the LV Cup. And at the moment, he's not set to taste defeat in this Champions Cup semi-final because Saracens have the advantage, and they now have the scrum penalty as well.
And that will be sweet success for Saracens. They knew going into this game that Wasps would target them, and with a quarter of an hour left, if they're starting to get penalties from scrums, then they're in a very good position to play this game in the right part of the field. Pressure coming on from Saracens, the collapse called against McIntyre.
Phil Swainston is coming on for Wasps. He comes into the squad because of the injury to Jake Cooper-Woolley. Cittadini goes off. That's a tight head prop change. What can Saracens do here?
Still moving.
It has stayed on the move, as the referee pointed out. Wiles. Wigglesworth. Vunipola. Jackson Ray waits. Had to be content with another bench to start today. He's done his time on that bench, but he's a terrific servant. And there he is again. Hits hard and creates a way for Wigglesworth to find Farrell. Barrett with him.
Oh, late tackle!
Wigglesworth again. Jackson Ray again. Ball pushed backwards out of the tackle. In comes Brits at pace. Back of Vunipola. It'll feel a long way for Wasps to come back if Saracens can score here, but they won't. And here's Charles Piartal.
That could have been game. That could have been game.
Gopperth. Christian Way, not even he can do it from there.
He's not going to get to the ground either, is he? Oh, it's a knock on already.
There's no real advantage for Wasps.
No, there wasn't. No, there wasn't. But Duncan Taylor, he's had such a good season. You would expect him to take this 9 times out of 10. Lovely delay on the pass. Oh, that's gone well. Is that a golden chance?
Good. It was a super delayed ball. You just saw Elliot Daly was put back on his heels. The gap opened up between Wade. Duncan Taylor scores big tries for Saracens. Missed it. We're just wondering here, myself and Andy, if the line-out's wobbling a little bit for Wasps at the moment, then Fistusha's staying on. Why is he staying on when you've got someone like Ashley Johnson, who you have worries about the line-out? But if the line-out's not going well, you get Ashley Johnson on, who's all impact, all action, big carries. Right now, pinned in their own 22. They need a ball carrier like Johnson to allow other ball carriers to get into the game.
I think, well, with Fistusha, it's a wobble. With Ashley Johnson, it's a full-on collapse. I think if Wasps are going to do that, they almost say, right, to hell with line-outs, we just go for it flat out. Big call, though, and Johnston is one of these guys who can turn a game in the loose. A little bit of a stray boot there.
Can you hear me, Romain?
A white boot.
Do you hear me?
Can you hear me, Romain?
Yeah, I got you, Eric. Eric?
Eric, tu m'entends, c'est Jérôme. Nous on t'entend.
Hold on, please, because I cannot hear you at the moment, please.
What do you want to review?
Roman Poit trying to call, Eric goes out.
Eric?
Oui, je t'entends, je t'entends. Okay, we have a check.
Check about.
McIntyre there behind the right. He's been held, I think, and he just throws out a frustrated boot and he kicks someone in front of the post. It has to be a penalty. Bang, it's kicked to Saracen, there's no doubt about that.
Well,
Toje's held on to him.
And then in goes the foot from McIntyre. Can't really do that.
Yes, it's coming.
No matter how frustrated you are.
I always have some sympathy there. It's so frustrating when you've got someone like a Toje there hanging on to you. And you can see his right arm around his boot. But you know that you're going to get caught here.
Regarde le pied gauche.
Number 17, the back of the scrum, has one go. It's hardly a kick, Miles. It's more a frustrated attempt to release yourself, but it's not going to look good.
Number 4.
He's being held. Let go of me. Hold him with his right hand. He tries to get out, kicks him, and he does kick him in the head with his right boot.
This one.
Can you explain it?
Yeah. I will explain, obviously.
Can I have a rebuttal to talk about it?
Yeah, I have a decision. What I saw, number 4 hold the players, but he react with the kick on the players on the ground. I will give first a penalty against 4 and return to white players and a yellow card for his kick. All right?
It's not just going to be a penalty, but a yellow card.
Well, in the state of the modern game, it has to be. His foot's made contact with his head, and I think it's a right decision.
I show you another angle, please.
I love the fact that Poit has also said initially it's a penalty against Itoje, and that's right.
Interesting. Jerome Garces has stepped in here as well to add his experience, that knows how big this decision.
Right hand on the left boot. Let go of me. Let go of me. He won't. He kicks him in the head. I mean, in the modern game, that's a red card, isn't it? Though I understand. I don't think it should be, but it is.
I mean, kicking out is not good, but to the head area,
it's not a big kick, Miles. For trouble. 9 times out of 10, that is a red card in the game.
My decision is to deliver a kick.
And the law book says, and the referee says, that McIntyre has to go.
Well, that sounds paradoxical, but I think McIntyre is a very lucky player, but I also think it's very brave piece of refereeing from Romain Poit then. I think 19 out of 20 refs.
Just one you said many times, but that's the only one we got. He could not react like that. It's clear and obvious. It's a yellow card. Okay. The penalty could be against Black, but white players did wrong, and that's the reason why we penalise him by that.
I just want to make sure that that's in your mind because that's continuously.
Decision made. Yeah, decision made. Just a question about the players pulling back the players. Okay.
19 out of 20 referees see that boot, they see it go into the head. They go red card, and I think that doesn't take into account the cynical play by Itoje that caused it. So, lucky McIntyre, yes, well refereed Poit also.
And the referee knows the player about to kick. Owen Farrell knows, the crowd certainly do, that this could be a decision that decides the semi-final. It's that big. Wasps have 40 men for nearly all the rest of the game to come up with one of their famous comebacks. Saracens take their total out to not a match-winning lead of 17 to 10, but a team like Saracens very rarely loses a position like this.
Big Ashley Johnston is on now, and Saracens 7 points up. They have at least that buffer against defeat.
Halai.
Back, number one.
Wasps be thinking, try and get to extra time. Full complement back. Trying a conversion needed for that. Sam Jones now on. There's two back row men on the bench, Jones and Young. Second row cover being provided by Nathan Hughes today. In the absence of the injured Mile and Gaskell, of course, before that. Simpson. Gopeth. Here's Ashley Johnson. Cross comes Wigglesworth, he's read that well again. And Good steps away from Simpson. Farrell. Gopeth. Thomas Young.
Stay back!
Here's Elliot Daly going wide to Christian Wade. Viertel trying to be with him, but Daly was as well.
Brilliant defence from Chris Ashton there.
As ever, the villain as far as the opposition fans are concerned, Ashton. But he got back so well. Thomas Young again. Had that major influence in the game against Exeter, but having an influence there is Will Fraser. And Vunipola right in there as well.
Well, in a couple of these semi-finals in the last 3 years, Saracens have been beaten at the breakdown. Toulon in particular have been too strong for them there. Here's Ashton getting back and throwing Wade to the ground, get to the breakdown, and where Saracens in the years gone by have been outsmarted, overpowered, this time they're just coming up with the goods when it matters. Great play, Fraser.
Gain line.
A yellow card that should have been red, but earlier in the game. Let's have a little look at this. Christian Wade, he's on the outside. Look, he's totally in space. Look, the flyer just wants to go. And this, oh, that's probably a yellow for me.
Well, we know what Wade can do. You've given the opening. I say you earn your right in this competition. A passage over a number of years Is that what we're seeing this season with Saracens?
And I don't think we could say Saracens have had the rub of the green all afternoon with the referee. I don't think you could say that.
And look at this now, knowing another score just about gets them to Lyon. In go the backs. Backwards go Wasps. Onwards Saracens. Towards the final. It's a penalty try. They are winners, they are champions at home. But as yet, not in this competition. But they could be about to give themselves another glorious chance in the Champions Cup. They are surely on their way to Lyon.
That's very smart rugby from Saracens there. They got the momentum, they got the shift, the backs poured in to join the forwards, while the Wasp backs stayed wide like a string of pearls across the pitch. Look at the Saracens backs joining in. They're so heavily outnumbered. There's only one way this is going to be stopped. Illegally collapsed. It is now a 14-point lead, and against these Wasps you cannot say that it's game, set and match, but this is now a very handy lead. Saracens can start thinking about Lyon.
These 14-point deficits don't necessarily worry the Wasps, but this one might, given who they're playing and given now the time on that clock. 6 minutes, 4 of which Wasps will spend still as a force of 14, and that's what they need, 14 points.
Hasn't been smiles all afternoon for Billy Vunipola and his team. Was frightened them in the first minute, they've come back at them, but now the Saracens juggernaut looks as if it's grinding its way into the final.
Number 1, clearly crossing.
Well, that might just give Wasps a little bit of help.
Come down.
Number 1 is Mako Vunipola, and he's been penalised for obstruction. And George Smith, now the acting captain, tries to give Wasps a dramatic last gasp go for this. Launched through again.
Number 1.
Young. Simpson. Ashley Johnson.
Leave it.
Gopeth.
Advantage, 14 offside.
It's going to be a penalty to Wasps. Ashton was offside, who's come forward there, and here's Elliot Daly. They need 2 tries. Launch spree. Simpson, Ashley Johnson, they've got 1. Quickly back they go. Kick's vital though. Gopeth mustn't rush this.
Ashley Johnson came from about 2 acres away to make sure he was hitting that flat out. Great line from the South African international. Nobody in the Saracen team was going to stop him. Wasps will not be denied. Still they fight back.
Alice good on the charge. Gopeth puts it out of his mind. The quarter-final heroics convinced these Wasps that if they could handle that, they could handle almost anything. Well, if they handle this, it will be one of the great comebacks at this stage of this competition.
That was some line from Ashley Johnson. He started off outside the outside post. He made a 30-metre arc-in break and was irresistible when he took that ball. Brilliant.
Lots of changes being made as both sides look for that freshness at the finish. Daly and Ashton out there from the start. And what a start it was for Wasps. but gradually Saracens have pulled them back, got in front. Daly away. Saracens won't mind this, they have control of the ball.
Stay away.
Somehow Wasps need to engineer a turnover. Neil de Kock now on, finds Farrell and Ray. In went Charles Piatel. In goes Johnson. Farrell has gone forward.
It's a penalty. Well, that's gone forward for Farrell. Ashton's offside. It's a penalty, and they've got it.
Kicking the ball in offside position.
That was stupid from Chris Ashton. Nothing, no other word will do. That was absolute insanity there. Eddie Jones will have watched this. Knock-on comes from Farrell. Ashton's looking at the knock-on. He's in front of the ball. He kicks it away. Senseless. That's 50 metres given away to Wasps.
Concedes a lot of territory, that act. That senseless act. McIntyre waiting to come back on.
I wonder if that's the moment that Chris Ashton actually loses his place on the plane to Australia and Christian Wade gets his booked. Eddie Jones would not have enjoyed that one iota.
Johnson safe ball to the front, it's good ball. This is Ali Piatel, this is Joe Simpson, this is Johnson, Gopperth, Wade. Saracens will be nervous when they see him with ball in hand. So too Halai, but Halai can't get away. Jones was the run. Here's Gopperth, Daly, Piatel. What a step, powerful step. Back comes Wiles. Simpson, Gopperth. Oh, that was close to forward. A look at the assistants, they say no. Launch spring. It's the final minute. And they can't get McIntyre out of the bin. Simpson dispossessed. And is that it? McIntyre will return. And he needs to have an amazing effect now at this scrum. Otherwise, Saracens have it.
Yasin is coming back.
McIntyre's back, full scrum. Time for Heineken man of the match. Billy Vunipola has played really well. He's been strong on the gain line, but he hasn't made the decisive breaks in a game that probably has been won by Saracens' ability to win line-outs, control possession and territory. I'll go for another ubiquitous performance from Maro Itoje. So athletic in the line-out, so powerful in the breakdown. England's second row is my Heineken Cup semi-final man of the match.
Good scrum to finish. Good scrum to finish. Yeah, right.
Saracens will look to make this the final scrum. That clock just ticking away. Neil de Kock, he goes all the way back to their first semi-final. He was captain against Munster. Now 37 years of age. You could not ask for any more experience. He knows what to do here.
Agony for Wasps. So close, so many stars in this tournament. They came out of the pool of death very much alive. Haskell, what an hour he put in for his team. It looks like Wasps are going to lose. They still have the Premiership to go for, and they have a very bright future. For Saracens, they are one clean scrum from the second European final in 4 years. They're that close.
Roman Poit is happy with it. Vunipola to bury the captain. Saracens will return to a Champions Cup final, a second in 3 years, to try and win a trophy they have been working towards for some years now. Is this finally to be their year? Semi-finals rarely do the mundane, and this one was a day of extremes. Extreme excitement at the start from Wasps, set themselves up, then the professional job from Saracens. Didn't panic like in the quarter-final against Northampton when it wasn't going right in the first period, but they built a position. Then of course the important decisions made by the referee, the penalty try at the end that you thought might have closed it out, but Wasps, being Wasps, still had something to say, but today not quite enough.
Wasps started and finished the better team.